Hi everybody, thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to do a face of the day look today, and I just used a really pretty, like a white sheer color from Urban Decay. I used some purple, and then I used a MAC pigment in the color tan on my eyes. I also talk briefly about this new Smashbox Studio Skin foundation that I got. It's just going to be an application process and my thoughts on this particular foundation for oily skin. Let me zoom in so that I can show you guys what the eyes look like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so I've already put lotion on my face. I have to use two different lotions on my face because I'm extremely oily in the T-zone, and right here I've been super dry, so I just put a little bit of both on. My go-to primer is still the STILLA All Day 10-in-1 HD Beauty Balm. I did a review on this about a year ago, probably, maybe 2 years ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to my T-zone, and as you see, I just use a very little amount, and I just kind of pat that into this area right here. I don't really care too much for putting it all over my face because I don't have a need to. I just put it right here. I picked up this beauty blender last weekend, and I have been loving it for my foundation and my concealer. Alright, so the foundation, of course, that I have been using for the past 3 weeks or so is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. I am in the color 2.3. The way that I apply this is I like to take it, and when I apply it this way, I don't use as much as if I were to apply this directly to the sponge or to the back of my hand and dip my sponge in there. I find it goes a lot further if I just put a few pumps onto my finger. Usually 3 pumps will do my whole face, so I just put it on and smear it around. That was 2 pumps, but I'll probably go back in just a minute and put some more on. This is what it looks like. I just kind of randomly put it all over my face, and then I'm just going to take my wet beauty blender and dab it on. Now, the thing that I really like about this foundation is that it says that it's 15-hour wear hydrating foundation. So it's not necessarily formulated for oily skin, and it doesn't specifically say that it's formulated for dry skin, although one would think that it was because the name says that it is hydrating foundation. As I mentioned before, I am extremely oily in the T-zone, and I don't think that this foundation makes me any more or less oily than like, for example, my Matte Velvet Plus. I've been using the Matte Velvet Plus foundation for a good year or so now, and I like that foundation, but as I said, because I was dry in this area, I had to try something different. And this Smashbox foundation, I really can't notice that much of a difference in the oil in my T-zone between how oily I would get when I was using the Matte Velvet Plus foundation. So if you have oily skin, I definitely would not let this, the fact that it says that it is a hydrating foundation, steer you away from it. Because literally, girl, my forehead gets so shiny. I always used to say I could shine shoes with my forehead, and it probably still would be the case, but because I use the STILLA primer and, other primers that I use, I make sure that they are oil-free. That really helps out. Plus, using the combination lotion that I use from Bare Minerals, that helps out a lot too. So this is what it looks like once I have it all blended in. I'm actually just going to go ahead and take another pump of this and put it right here again, and over here, and a little bit on my forehead. Just because I have some blemishes around this area of my face. And then I'm just going to go ahead and wipe the rest off on the sponge. And I'm just going to go ahead and blot this all in right here again. And of course, the last thing that you want to do, or the first thing, whatever step you do it, you just want to make sure that you bring it down below your jawline, just so that there's not that odd line And this foundation, I really like the way that the shade matches me better than the shade that I have my Matte Velvet Plus foundation in. So I think that also has me leaning towards this a little bit. It just matches, like the shade above and below the color that I use in Matte Velvet Plus are just a little bit too light or too dark. So this one just seems to fit on my skin a little bit better. Alright, so this is what it looks like. The MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, I have this in the color NW25. With this, I put a little bit of it on my hand, and then I just go in with my finger, and let's just go ahead and cover up whatever little blemishes I have. I like to make sure I put it right here, around my nose, and then of course under my eye. And then I'm just going to take my Beauty Blender and go in with the other side and just press that in. To set my foundation, I always go in with my LORAC powder in the color PF4. And I just have this Sephora brush that I've had forever. My daughter dropped this on the floor. I just purchased it like 2 months ago. And it fell on the floor and exploded, and I salvaged what I could and got rid of the rest, so I'm sure I'll have to make a stop in Ulta soon. But I really like this foundation. Again, I find that with my oily skin, it is just great. It's a great color match for my skin tone, and it also helps me, I find it helps control my oil as well. And what I'm going to do today for my bronzer, I'm going to go into my, this is a palette from Tarte Cosmetics. This particular palette is called Walk in the Park. So I really like this bronzer that's in here. I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. I'm going to go into MAC's blush. I have it in the color Melba. And I'm just going to use my Sonia Kashuk brush to apply this today. I really like this Eco Tools brush for blending out my blush and my bronzer. Now for my eyebrows, today I'm just going to go ahead and use the LORAC Pro palette. So I have this brush by e.l.f. It's just an angled brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip it into the color Sable. And then what I do, because Sable is a little bit on the like, I don't know, it's more of a darker brown. I take it and I dip it into the color Taupe after I have Sable in my brush, just to kind of get a combination of the two colors. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start filling in my brows. Alright, so my brows are done. Primer is just going to be the Urban Decay. My friend gave me this MAC. It's the Painterly Paint Pot. She used it by itself without any primer. And she actually used this as her primer, and she said that she didn't like it. She said that her lids were still extremely oily, and so she just didn't want it at all. So she gave it to me because of what she said about not liking to use it as a primer. I always just use it over my primer, just because I don't want to risk it. I do have very oily lids also, so but I do like to use this just to kind of even out my skin tone around my lid area. This is a beautiful Urban Decay color in the color Sellout. I love applying this color with my finger because I find that when I use a brush to apply it, it just doesn't pick up as much color. So again, I'm going to put this in the crease down. It's a really nice color to use in that area because when you use an eyeliner on the lash line, it helps it pop. I always like to take my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the color Milk and apply this to the inner corner of my eye. I take my finger and I just kind of push it out and just smear it around a little bit because it helps really open the eyes. I like to set this color with the color Elope from my Sigma Bear palette. I'm just using an angled brush from the Sigma, one of the Sigma brushes, but I'm just going to go ahead and apply Elope on top of that Jumbo Eye Pencil. Next, we're going to take a Sigma E25 blending brush and dip it into a MAC pigment. This is in the color tan. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend tan all over the crease of my eye. It is literally just staying in the crease on the top of the Urban Decay Sell Out palette that we put down. A little bit goes a long way with this, so as you can tell, I just dipped my brush barely right into the product and then tapped off the excess and the lid and just blend, blend, blend. So this is what it looks like. Taking a nude color or any blending color, just go ahead and apply that to the top of the MAC pigment and just blend out the top of that pigment that we set down. I'm going to take my pencil brush and go into the L'Oreal Hip pigment in the color Wicked. This purple color is extremely pigmented. You need very little. Just go ahead and take it and apply it in a slight V shape on the corner of your eye there. You don't have to bring it in any more than halfway in. And then just take a blending brush and just blend that color out. I must have sat here for a good minute just blending it. When I was finished, I decided to go back in with my blending brush and just dip very little amount right on the brush and apply a little bit more of that to my crease because I wanted that purple color to pop a little bit more. I always like to start out with very little and then just build onto that. So this is what it looks like. The highlight on my brow bone was that color Sell Out by Urban Decay. And for my eyeliner today, I went into the Maybelline Eye Studio gel eyeliner in the color Blackest Black. I didn't do a very good job filming this part, but the mascara that I'm using today is this Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I've been loving it lately. For my waterline, I went into MAC's Black Swan eyeliner. I love the faces I'm making as I put this on. I just took a pencil brush and went into the Naked One palette. I took the darkest color brown that they have in there, and I just rubbed that all along my lower lash line. Alright, lips today is going to be one of the new lipsticks that I picked up from NYX in the color Sugar Wafer. This is what it looks like. It's a really pretty, like peachy, very, very, very light pink looking color. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to my lips. So once that's on, I'm going to go in with this MAC lip gloss that my friend Jessica gave me in that video that we did a long time ago when we both did our haul. And this is the MAC lip gloss in the color Razzler-Dazzler. Initially when the MAC girl gave it to her, and then again when she gave it to me, we were both kind of like, I don't really like this. I don't really like this coral color, but I've been playing around with it lately and I like it now. And it's beautiful on its own. And the last thing that we're going to do is just take a little bit of my Fix Plus spray and set it on there just to tie everything together. This has such a good smell. It just smells so fresh and clean and I like it. Alright, so this is what the final look looks like. Let me go ahead and zoom in so that you guys can see it. And that's about all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.